Hi, I'm Kelly Robbins, lead practitioner at Centers for Spiritual Living, Boulder Valley. Welcome to our online community. In this week's service, you'll find an opportunity to deepen your connection with your spiritual self through music, inspiration, spiritual practice, and our message. I invite you to sit back, relax, open your heart and mind in order to uplift and connect with your divine self. Thank you for being part of our online community and enjoy the service.
Hello, welcome to our virtual gathering of real people here at Centers for Spiritual Living, Boulder Valley. My name is Claudia Milner, and I'm a practitioner here as well as at Mile High Church in Lakewood. Welcome. If you are a first time here, or if you are a seasoned member of our community, it's just so good to be able to connect with you. And as tradition is, we start out with announcements. So our first announcement is about our April outreach. We're going to continue with Sister Carmen, and any of the items that we are needing or they are needing will be available on our website. If you are unable to locate those items, just send us an email and we will get the list to you. We have arranged for one of our members to come and pick up the items on Fridays in the morning. And if you just kind of let us know when you're going to be dropping something off, if you can wait till Friday, that would be great. And just set it outside our door. It'll all be safe and it'll be delivered into the perfect hands. And thank you for your support for Sister Carmen Outreach. And speaking of outreach, we, the practitioners here at Boulder Valley, really want you to know that we are reaching out to you. And we have to do it virtually in this world, in this moment right now. And here's how we're doing it. It's pretty exciting. On alternating Tuesdays, so the April 7th, that's coming up this week, April 7th, Barbara Fang Babcock, is hosting a tea on Tuesdays. It starts at 9:30. You can get information on our website, in our newsletter, or if you don't know what either one of those are, sign up for our newsletter by sending us an email or signing up on our website. I'll give you the addresses in just a bit. So that is every other Tuesday, tea on Tuesdays. And then on the opposite Tuesdays, we have Kathy Noonemaker, who is hosting and offering a metapsychology book club and discussion. And this is based on a book by Dr. Hora, and who was just an amazing influencer in this field of metapsychiatry. And so her gathering is going to be on April 14th at 9:30 as well. So for every Tuesday morning at 9:30, you may as well just put it in your calendar, and that you're going to be showing up with Centers for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley. We'd love to see you. And we will send you the links if either in an email, or you can sign up for it on our website. Next, on Wednesday, April 15th, I will be hosting another meditation and discussion with the topic of change. There's quite a bit of that going around these days, and so it's a really safe place to come together to realize that you're not alone, and to have some sacred time in community. And that is on April 15th from 6:30 to 7:30. And again, we'll send you out a link, or you can look on our website. And so our website is CSL Boulder Valley, all one word, .org, or cslbouldervalley@gmail.com. So I think that's about it for our announcements. And this is one of the parts that I love, because we get to share our love, and we get to give our gratitude. So for today's production of our service, we'd like to express gratitude to Karen Karsh, Catherine Snyder, Kelly Robbins, who is our speaker, and Kathy Noonemaker, who is holding our consciousness. So just great gratitude for all these individuals. And interestingly enough, they all start with a hard C sound. And you can tell I'm a teacher. So settle in. We're going to start with an invocation, and then the mission, vision, and purpose. And then move into our service in prayer, meditation, and connection. So I would like to start our invocation with words from Ernest Holmes. He says, love dissolves all fear. Greater than fear is love. Love dissolves all fear, casts out all doubt, and sets the captive free. Love, like the river of life, flows through me and refreshes me with its eternal blessings. Love cannot be afraid. It is fearless and strong and is mighty in its works. It can accomplish all three things through the inner light of that faith in the all good, which fills my very being with a powerful presence. Love casts out all fear. So as we join together today, I just lean into that knowing of love, the trust of love, knowing that in each and every moment, we are each held in divine compassion. Knowing that our gathering today, whether that's not in physical form, but on the powerful level of the soul and the heart. So reaching out through the miles, through the walls, through the air, we know that we are each connected to each other here in this community, and also intimately connected throughout all of life. And so in this moment, I call everything good. I bless each one of us within the sound of my voice, knowing that all is fine, all is good, all is well. For we are each a child of the living God that moves in and through and as us with divine intuitiveness and intelligence. And so I call this time good, sacred, and blessed. And so it is. So I'd ask you to join with me, if you would, for our purpose, mission, and vision. And it's important to be able to say these things together just because it really emphasizes here in our hearts and in our bodies and in our minds the connection that we truly do have. So our purpose is celebrating divinity, embracing humanity, and creating community. And our mission is providing tools and support to awaken our community to its spiritual magnificence. And our vision, inspiring and uplifting every one of us to transform the world. And so it is. And so as we come together in our separate locations, I invite you to consider our candles that I have here. And it's an external representation of the inner light that we each carry with us every single day, in every moment. At the end of this service, I will blow out these candles, but the inner light that is the truth of who you are will remain to illuminate your life and the lives of those around you and moving out into the world. So I give great thanks for that. So the reading that I have for you today is from a book from a Denver author. Her name is Lizanne Corbett. Super powerful, insightful, intuitive woman. And this is called Life is a Prayer. Life is a prayer. Sometimes it's a fervent prayer for something deep inside to be met. Sometimes it's a petition for the divine will to be done and a path made clear. Sometimes it's a heartfelt, tear-filled whisper for love to return swiftly so you can land softly. Sometimes it's a full-on rant and raving demand for understanding in the chaotic shambles and shockwaves of change. Sometimes it's a soft whisper of gratitude deeply felt as a wish is finally granted. Sometimes it's a focused intention with laser-like intensity for a specific request. Sometimes it's a chanting repetition to soothe the weary-hearted soul. Sometimes it's a full-blown revival, clapping and praising. Can I get a hallelujah? Sometimes life is an acknowledgement of beauty in this very moment with a simple and yet, oh, so powerful, amen. At all times, life is a prayer in the making. All we have to do is go within and acknowledge with reverence our birthright as inspiritus beings. We are the prayer in motion. A divine comedy or drama, whichever is your choice, but we are divinity in creation. A prayer for the ages in who we are and how we live. I bow in reverence to your deep, rich life as a prayer in your making. Some of my favorite prayers are deep peace. Oh my God. Holy crap. Wow. Amen. Hallelujah. Yippee-ki-yo-ki-yay. Thank you. I didn't say prayer was always pretty. Sometimes it's all we can do to utter one word. Just one word. In that one word, we call on the universe and it conspires to support us in whatever we need in that exact moment. And so we do have an affirmation in support of Kelly Robbins's talk today. And so I will read it first and it'll come up on the screen and you can read it as well. And we'll have some silence after that to contemplate. So the affirmation for today is, I honor myself, my processes, and my soul for long-term good. I honor myself, my processes, and my soul for long-term good. So after listening to that amazing music from Karen Karsh, thank you, dear one, dropping into prayer. And so, as certain as I am of the breath that I take, I am certain and I know that there is nothing outside the oneness, the divine intelligence, the magnificent energy that flows in and through and as everything that is. Things that are known and yet to be discovered. things that bring us joy, things that bring us growth, things that bring us to the edge of our lives. And knowing that oneness exists everywhere, I know that each one of us is a reflection, is an embodiment of that energy, that light, that power, that love, grace, and harmony. Each one of us, our lives, is an expression of that greatness. And so in this moment, I speak my word for each one of us at Boulder Valley Centers for Spiritual Living, knowing that the connections, the heart connections that we have with each other, that we have with our friends and our families, that is true and real and good and very good. And knowing in this moment that these body temples that we are housed in are in complete alignment with that one truth, that one power, that one presence. There is no disequilibrium. There is no fear, because love resides in each one of us, in each aspect of each of us. And so I know health and prosperity. I know compassion, joy. I know laughter and love and sharing. And I also know an ability to create a new normal as we travel this journey together in compassion, in companionship, and in love. And I'm so very grateful to speak to these words, that these words of truth. And as I release them into the divine law, I know that it is already done. My word is done. And so in great gratitude, I let go, I let God, I release it. And I know all is well. And I invite you to affirm this with me by saying, and so it is.
Alleluia, 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 alleluia. We are one now. 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 We are one. So we sing Alleluia. 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 Alleluia.
It is my pleasure to introduce Kelly Robbins. Kelly is an award-winning author, coach, and speaker, and is the author of Trust Your Next Step, Creating the Confidence to Cut Fresh Tracks. Kelly believes that by living your divine purpose, approaching life as a fun adventure, and trusting your next step, we can all achieve the goal of creating our own fresh tracks. We're very lucky to have her as our lead practitioner here at Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley. Please join me in welcoming Kelly.
Hi again, Kelly Robbins here. Thank you for coming today to our online service at Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley. I applaud you and congratulate you for joining us online. The world is different right now for everyone, and being in community, listening to the message and the spiritual practices that we have today are all part of how we take care of ourselves. So thank you for coming. Today, the topic that I'm talking about is new beginnings and navigating smooth endings. And we had planned this talk several months ago. I have written an article that's in the Science of Mind magazine on this topic, talking about the same thing that really we're walking through right now with this virus and the stay-at-home orders, and us with all the change going on, us living and being in community and in harmony with ourselves and with life really as a whole. How do we do this in a totally different way, a way that we've never had to before? How do we, and we're all reacting differently, and we're all in different experiences. Some are more comfortable than others. Some have bigger endings, bigger beginnings happening than others. So today I welcome you to my house. We're doing the service online. You can see I'm in my dining room. Welcome to Kelly Robbins' house. And this is a new beginning. Us recording the services. We've been recording them online kind of as an extra. Now this is our main way of communicating. In a Western society, our society as a whole is geared towards beginnings. Beginnings are kind of fun. They have this freshness and this newness about them that we tend to embrace because they don't often have the history. Really, it's a new beginning. There's not this energy that we might be dragging along, or stories or histories from our past, as much as when we're in the middle of something, or really the endings. We have more baggage that we're bringing. So beginnings tend to be fun. And oftentimes I talk about creating fresh tracks. That's a beginning in all ways. You're going somewhere you haven't gone before. We're here in this world today forced to live our life, to have a new beginning. And while we're in this beginning, we're also having a lot of endings. And most of them are happening without our choice. They are just here. So what we're going to look at today is how do we be in harmony, not only with embracing the beginnings, but our endings. How do we be in harmony and in recognition of that gap, that space that we're in the middle? Maybe that's where we are right now, as we're waiting to be given permission to get back to community, get back to being in our lives. We've got lots of change happening right now. We have a pandemic, and what it's forced us to do differently is how we work. Like, some people are working from home, some people aren't working, some people nothing's changed at all. How is that happening for you? How we embrace healthcare has changed. I know my parents had some elective surgeries canceled that they were looking forward to, and that caused a lot of emotion to come up because it wasn't in choice, that the way we care for ourselves and our health has changed. How we're in community has changed. We can't come to service on Sundays and talk. Today's potluck Sunday, and that's not happening today. How we are with our friends, in relationship with ourselves, in relationship with others has changed. I know for our community, the practitioners have gone to a great effort to create opportunities for us to be in community together. With online meditations, we have Tuesday teas, we have book discussions, and we still have our third Thursday, our spiritual forum with Jay. We have this community We've started a Facebook group. So there's lots of new beginnings. And as much as we encourage you to embrace them, to care for your health, I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. There's the ending that has happened in that we're not all together in person, hugging and feeling each other's energy, and that's something to be honored. So right now, we're really in this gap space, the space between the ending of the world as we knew it, we're moving into this new beginning. Hopefully we'll in a month or two be able to get back together. That's not within obviously my control or any of our controls, when we can be back in live person physical community again. We're in this gap space. And what is this gap space, and how do I be in harmony with it, with this almost pause that's been put on in a lot of ways? One of the interesting things, they've started, I have children, 3 children. I have millennials, and I have one that's this Generation Z. We have the baby boomers, the Generation X, the millennials, then we have Generation Z. They have kind of ended the Z's, and now the new babies being born, these new people, these beings coming into our world. Our Generation C is what they're calling it. Like it's been this just change, this point in time has happened. We're in this gap, kind of watching things fall apart, looking for what's going to emerge. And meanwhile, we're in our homes and all this difference. So what do we do when we're in this gap space? We take the time to clean up our inner world and our outer world, which is the law of compensation. Ralph Waldo Emerson, who's one of my favorite teachers, wrote an essay on the law of compensation. And he says, every act rewards itself. And we might think, every act rewards itself. I'm stuck at home. What does that mean? Every act rewards itself. The law of compensation is one of my favorite universal principles. What it says is that in order for us to grow into our new self, our new life, our new sense of beingness, we have to shed and let go of the part of us that's too small, the part of us that no longer serves us. And as humans, we tend to resist this quite a bit. I have. It's part of nature, though, just like how a crab or snake, a crab molts its shell and has to shed its outer shell so that it can grow into its new, bigger shell. We do the same thing. But what do we do as humans? We hang on to what we're comfortable with, what we've always known. We hang on to those new ways. We hang on to those old ways, and resist the new ways. So the seed I'm planting for you is, are you doing this anywhere? Are you holding on tightly to something that it's time to shed? Humans, we do this in many ways. We hold on to relationships that no longer serve us. We have to let go of, maybe we've had the same friend group forever since high school, and we haven't let go of that to make room for new. It might be letting go of the way that we've done our spiritual practice and embracing some new ways. I know this was something I ran into. Was I have a very strong spiritual practice, particularly in the morning, and it just wasn't cutting it because it's new. We're in a new space. I'm in a new space in leadership here for the center. It's new. There's a lot going on. And there's a pandemic happening at the same time. So it took me a couple days, and then I thought, I knew I wasn't feeling centered, and I was busy and doing things, but I wasn't centered, and I realized I need to change up what I've always done. This isn't the right time for that. So ask yourself, what are you hanging on to that it's time to let go of? What routine? And it can be internal as well as external, okay? So part of it might be cleaning drawers and cleaning out areas of your house and releasing the physical. And we also can have some time to look inside and say, what conversations are happening that I can let go of? What feelings are coming up? Is there fear? Is there resistance to connecting online. We've done a lot, the center as a whole, we've spent a lot of time with individuals helping them set up different systems so they can stay connected, so they can join us in community. So, I ask you, what's going on for you? It might be something I'm not even mentioning, but this is a time to reflect and ask yourself, look, what's going on? Am I in any way resisting, knowing that I'm in this period of change? So another part of this, we're in this gap space. We talked about the wonderful new beginnings. We're in this ending that most of us didn't ask for or see coming, for that matter. How do we honor this ending? I had learned from a spiritual teacher. Her name is Heather Ashimura. She studied with Don Miguel Ruiz very, very deeply. And she had talked to me about jagged edges, that life has jagged edges. And we resist endings, we fight endings because they're not nice and clean. They're not how we want them to be. So we fight and we say, well, this isn't what I want. And we keep doing what we've always done, trying to hang on to what has been comfortable. When in reality, it's uncomfortable hanging on to that comfortable stuff. It's honoring that there's an ending happening. And even if it looks super ugly on the outside and it's messy, we just might not want to look at it because it's just so horrid. How can we honor it on the inside? How can we have a clean ending on the inside regardless of what it looks like on the outside? And I'm going to state that again so that you can think on this, because it might not be something that we have an answer for right now. Yet, if you sit with it for a day or two, it might come to you. How can we honor the ending inside us, no matter what it looks like on the outside? So let me give you a couple things you can do at home. One is, as these endings are happening, be mindful. Be present to that. Name it. What is happening? Can you name it? And be mindful. Be present. Be present to it, even if it's the pain. Be present to it so it can flow through your body and release. But be present to it. If you can name it, do. And then really look at it. Look at the ending. What parts of it do you not want to carry forward? Knowing that we're going into this new beginning and this new space, what parts do you not want to carry forward? What do you not want to bring anymore? And on the same token, what did you love? What do you love about what's ending that you do choose to carry forward? And I invite you to look for feelings and emotions rather than necessarily labeling things. For example, coming to service in person on Sunday, that you feel, I feel that connection with humans. There's like an energy that I feel. It's nice to, I work from home. For me, it's nice to get out of my house and see people. Hear the laughter, feel the music. It's more than just hearing Karen's songs. It's the feeling of it, the smells on Potluck Sunday. There's emotion behind that. There's love. There's that sense of community. There's that vibrating, each of us vibrating, kind of matching each other up. There's that feeling that goes with that. So that might be some of what I want to keep. Getting up early on Sunday and putting my makeup on and leaving, maybe the effort would be something I'd want to leave behind. I don't know. Think of what that is for you, though. It might be in the way you're working. It might be with relationships that you have. It might be, it could be money and the abundance and the flow and looking at your prosperity consciousness. Where are we at with that? A lot of people I've spoken with, they're very extroverted, and it's literally being okay with myself, knowing my oneness without having that human one-on-one touch, the coffees, the going out with your friends. What is it for you? And it's individual to all of us. So what do we not want to carry forward? What did we love? So we use an ending to get clear on where we want to go next. That's the purpose of it. So name it if you can. Don't judge it. Just name it. Be conscious of it. Be mindful of where we're at and where we're going. What do we want to keep and what do we want to let go of about our ending in the situation? So our next part is looking at our conversations that we're having with ourselves, right? The questions we ask ourselves, I think, is one of the most powerful things that we can get to know about ourselves. And we don't always, our heads just start going. I know mine does. It just starts going. And if I can, really, it's the same couple questions I'm asking myself, and the tone of the questions and the heart behind the questions are very powerful and affect our beginnings. They affect where we're going in the future, a year from now. A lot of it stems from that conversation we're having with ourselves and the questions. So like one question, the same question can bring up calm or it can bring up anxiety. Let me show you. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? This could be a question you're asking yourself. Why is this happening? All of this change. I didn't ask for this. Why is this happening? The world, we have all these stories that we might answer when we ask that question. Why is this happening? And then on the same token, we can ask that question. We can say, why is this happening? Interesting. Why is this happening? And it can have a calming effect. It can be introspective. It can be philosophical. Why is this happening? It's not personal. This is an energy. This is our collective consciousness. We have all these things going on in our world. Why is this happening? How do I choose to be in this? Right? How do I choose to be in this? It's the tone of your question and the awareness of what you're asking. And we begin to change our heart and how we are approaching ourselves and this change that we're in by going inside. And I mean, I've said it earlier, and I'm hearing people say it all the time. Go inside, take the time to meditate, take the time to do this. And when we're in frustration, when we're in a space of not feeling in control, that can be challenging. So ask these questions while you're cleaning the cupboards, while you're doing whatever you're doing to keep busy, while you're playing solitaire. You can be conscious of the questions and the conversation going on and shift them if need be, or ask totally different questions. A lot of the questions that I catch myself asking myself they're not valid questions, and they're the same ones over and over. They're not for me and my growth and expansion in a powerful, loving, harmonious way. So I invite you to look at that for yourself. What can you change in your perception or your relationship with it, with what's happening, with this endings and these new beginnings? So finally, I ask you to give yourself time to make peace with this ending internally. Don't let everyone else tell you what your timeline is, how long this takes. Just give yourself time and space. Feel what's coming up. Grieve. There's grieving when something ends. Honor yourself and respect yourself enough to follow your timeline and listen to that. You might be grieving and experiencing feelings for months after this. It's okay. It's okay. The important thing is that you kind of recognize, okay, I am going to grieve. I have two daughters in college. My oldest daughter is a senior at CSU. It's her last semester in her engineering program. Engineers, they make stuff and they have a big project at the end, and companies come and look at what they did, and it's all canceled. So she is in this huge, she still will graduate, but she's grieving the loss of what she's worked so hard to do. She's grieving the loss of what she thought would be an opportunity for her to get a job when she graduates. She's grieving the loss of not being able to walk with her friends. Some of the kids just had to go back home out of state, still have their stuff there. It happened so fast, and she was saying to me, Mom, I'm never going to see them again. So what does that look like for you? It might be a job or friends. We have lots of change going on, and that we can't stop it. And the goal is not to stop it. The goal is to recognize it, name it if we can, and choose how we embrace and interact with it. Choose to do it in a loving way. Choose to do it in a harmonious way, to be in harmony with it, to go go with the flow. But that's a thing. It's not just Taoism. It's one of our laws, is the law of non-resistance. I'm a big fan of the laws, because it allows me to not take it personally. I can say, oh man, I'm all fidgety, I'm resisting this, and I can say, well, I'm not going with the flow. I'm not using the law of non-resistance. What do I know about this law? What do I know about this law of compensation? All these things are ending. Is there anything I need to let go of right now? Like, I can kind of intellectualize, and most importantly to me, it's not personalizing what's going on, but allowing myself to feel and be and embrace it. And I invite you to do the same. What's going on, whether and it's as a mom, like I gave the example of my daughter. I kept telling her, well, at least we're all healthy, at least you're going to still graduate. I kept minimizing it. And she looked at me and she said, Mom, I know all that. Let me say it. Let me be mad right now. I'll get over it, but let me be here right now. And our children are so wise. I took a step back. I said, okay, yeah, you're right. And I keep trying to stop, because I was trying to look at the bright side of everything. And she just needed to grieve. And I need to grieve for her. What's happening? What am I losing? Grocery shopping. We've got just all sorts of things going on that are changed, that are upending all these people's lives, and it affects us too, because we're all one. So don't be grief adverse. Don't be grief adverse. And then the last thing I want to invite is to look at how you can and are nurturing yourself. Nurturing yourself for the long term, not the short term. The law of compensation and letting go, like the molten shell, letting go of that so the new one can come. There's that gap in the middle where there's no shell, where the new shell's super thin and it's not developed yet. And that's where we are in a lot of ways. So as we have pain, as we have grieving, as you have different things going on and feelings and emotions, look at the long-term goal and the long-term results you're looking for. Choose in. There might be some uncomfortableness right now. This gap period isn't necessarily feeling good for a lot of us, maybe for you. Look at the long-term benefits and be willing to sacrifice a little bit right now for your long-term growth and development and continued spiritual evolution in your journey, knowing your oneness with God, knowing your oneness with all of us. And it's really it's honoring the event, honoring the processes, honoring the emotions. So I have an affirmation for us this week. I honor myself, my processes, and my soul for my long-term good. I'm going to repeat it again. I honor myself, my processes, and my soul for my long-term good. And with that, I invite you to close your eyes and we will move into prayer. And I take a deep breath, knowing that God is the source of all things, knowing that the divine is in all people, in all places, in all things, in all events. God is in the endings just as much as God is in the beginnings. And in that gap space in between, it is all part of the natural processes of nature, of the energy of the universe. And as I recognize and feel into the oneness, my oneness with God, I know and feel and embrace and name and label and love each and every one of these processes that I may be feeling, or that I may be bearing witness to feel, to acknowledge, to accept in others. I love and respect and honor all of the aspects of the divine, all of the aspects of myself that are coming up now in new and different and perhaps uncomfortable ways, because I know that the end result is harmony. I know that the end result is the growth and expansion and evolution of myself, of each and every one of us, of everyone on this planet, and that the embodiment of all of the qualities of God, the abundance, the love, the beauty, the joy, the freedom, the love will just be all the more stronger. They are all the more stronger right now. The connecting, the caring for others is prominent everywhere. It may look different, and yet it's there. And I realize and recognize these truths for our community, for each and every one of us, and for the world as a whole. I give thanks to know these truths. I give thanks to be a part of this world and these communities at this time. I give thanks to bear witness and to be involved and part of the expansion and the breaking down and the building up of the new. I do it with joy. I do it with love. And I do it from a place of power and honoring. And as I give thanks to these truths, I release this word to the law, knowing without a shadow of a doubt that these words spoken are true. And this prayer is done. And if you will join me in saying, and so it is.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only when I lose myself, feels like I've lost my way. That's when I go inside and quiet my mind, and I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love, only love, love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love, only love, love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only
There is only love. Thank you so much, Karen. Isn't it amazing we're able to bring all of us together from afar while keeping physically safe? It's amazing. Thank you. And now is the time in our service where we have our offering, our virtual offering. So I ask you to gather your credit or debit card, your checkbook, whatever it is that you use to give, to tithe. And if you will repeat with me our offering affirmation, hold it up to your heart. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive. And so it is. And now more than ever is a time to continue with your tithing, with your circulating. We at the center are in a position where we're making some difficult decisions and need and appreciate your tithing now more than ever. There are several ways to give. You can write a check and mail it on our website, cslbouldervalley.org, just /donate. We have text to give. We have Tithely, which is what I use. You have an app on your phone and you set it up once and then it's just real easy to give. We have PayPal on the website, which is another easy way to give. And I know that while we have this slide up and I'm talking about tithing for the center, I encourage you for your own self to continue circulating, continue your energy moving, whether you are being affected financially with what's going on in our economy and the world right now or not. It's important you continue moving your energy. So I encourage you to tithe, whether it's even just $1, just anything, keep your energy moving. We are in a position where things are different now. We don't have the basket going around and we're noticing a difference. It's affected some decisions we've had to make. So I appreciate and encourage you to consider us and keep us in mind with your giving and your tithing. And with that, Claudia is next with our benediction. Thank you.
So thank you for joining us today. Please remember that we are here for you. We're a small group, but we're mighty, and we love to love. We love to pray. So reach out to us, cslbouldervalley.org or cslbouldervalley@gmail.com. Let us serve you. We are here to hold you in prayer and to be with you. So, as our final conversation for today, we will share our benediction. Be well, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, love deeply, and forgive wholly. You are loved. I now walk so that whoever walks beside me dwells in the presence of God. I now listen so that whoever speaks with me knows that I hear the voice of God. Whoever places a hand in mine is lifted, and whoever thinks of me is illumined with God consciousness. For spirit and I are one eternally. And so it is. Many blessings.
Know where we're going? I bet you do. Here we go. Light up the world. Sing. Light up the world like the sun lights up the sky. With your love, you can soar and you can fly. Light up the world for everyone to see. Light up the world, it's there for you and me. All you gotta do is feel that spark inside.